Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. One of the few things that's missing from my wardrobe is a leather skirt, and ever since I was young, in my little goth heart, I've always wanted a leather mini skirt to wear with like fishnets and combat boots and the whole jazz. But you know, they didn't make leather skirts in plus size back in the day. So today I'm going to fulfill my childhood dream of having a mini leather skirt. This project will actually be more of a remake, and if you don't know, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it below, but previously I did a denim skirt with the same pattern, and it was about knee length, a little below knee, and it was pure denim, zipper fly and everything, like you would find in your jeans, and it was a more advanced thing to do, and I feel like this pattern itself is more advanced. Today that was view B. So today I'm making view A, which differs in the sense that there is no zipper fly. There is just a straight zipper down the center. And there's no closure or anything like that, which, considering how it looks and how you'll see later with the zipper, I would have preferred a little closure on the top just to help me be able to zip it up and down, because it can be a little difficult to get in and out of, especially with the fact that it doesn't stretch because it's leather. Well, not real leather, it's pleather, you want to call it. Before I forget, this pattern is Mccalls M8149, and I would highly suggest, if you like this pattern, to go ahead and buy it online as a PDF, because they do have that option for some of their patterns on their website, in which I went ahead and did with like majority of the plus size stuff, so I can just print it out whenever I want, so I don't lose any pieces. I can always just reprint it, because we all know how delicate store-bought patterns can be. So I would highly suggest going online and getting it as a PDF if you want it when they have sales. I would do it when they have sales. Normally it's like $13 to like $21 per pattern, and I'm like, your girl a little broke. So I would definitely suggest during when they have a sale, which they do have a sale all the time, or you can always go to like your local store, fabric store like Joanns or Walmart. They have them, but Joanns has sales sometimes, so you can go there if you prefer having something physical and buy multiples. So before I talk too much, I'm gonna go ahead and go on with the video. Oh, I do want to say, leather can be a little daunting when trying to sew it. I did give a little bit of tidbits of like how to do things, kind of make it a little easier for you, because I know that I had problems. So if you've never done this before, you may have problems, or you may find it a little difficult, because it is a very advanced pattern when you're working with leather. So I do give you some tips. Basically, my tips are, how can I do this in the most, I don't want to say bootleg, because I feel like that's like the wrong term, an outdated term to use, but it's more or less, what's the most easiest way, DIY way I can do this thing without having to go online and look up too many things or go out and buy new tools. And I just want instant gratification, and I kind of feel like that's how my channel is right now. You just want to know how to sew. You don't want all the bells and whistles. You just want to know, put this with this and sew it. So yeah, but before I ramble on anymore, let's go ahead and get on with the sew along. Take one of your front pieces and one of your pocket pieces, number one. Pin the pocket to the front at the pocket edge like so. Sew all the way through the dots. Trim the excess from the seam, then flip to the inside. Press the seam, making sure not to leave the iron on the leather because it will melt. A combination of heat, finger pressing, and clips helped it stay for me. Edge stitch and top stitch along the folded edge. Flip your front piece so the inside and the pocket is facing you. Pin your pocket to the other pocket, but only stitching the edges of the pocket, not through the skirt. Then base stitch the edges of the upper pocket where it meets the front and the side part of the pocket. Do the same with the other side. Taking your yoke back and back, pin them right sides together and stitch like so. Press the seam and yoke up away from the back of the skirt. Edge stitch and top stitch the yoke seam, making sure to catch the seam allowance in the back. Do the same with the other back pieces. With those two back pieces done, match them along the center back seam, right sides together, and stitch. Press your seam allowance towards the right and edge and top stitch the seam allowance. Match the back skirt panels to the front, right sides together, and stitch. Press the seams towards the back and edge stitch and top stitch this. For the waistband, you will have two pieces, one of which will need to be interfaced. This is your facing. Pin your unfaced waistband to the top of the skirt, right sides together, and before you say anything, yes, I sewed the facing pieces first without thinking, but it didn't actually bother the construction. I kind of preferred it better. Or that could just be an excuse. Make sure the squares match the side seams and the center backs match, and the notches as well. Press the waistband and seam allowance up and away from the skirt. I would argue that you need a longer zipper than 18 inches because you would stitch the zipper from the bottom square and it would end up somewhere up here. I didn't like how much space was left up at the top due to the zipper length, so that's something you may want to think about when making this. I also marked on the wrong sides of my zipper so I did not get confused. Pin your zipper face down on the right side of your front opening, keeping the zipper teeth 1/4 of an inch beyond the seam allowance. Make sure the bottom of the zipper is placed at the dot. Fold down the top of the tape to the side out of the way of the teeth and pin. Baste and stitch it into place with a zipper foot. Repeat with the other side of the zipper, keeping it level with the previous one. Working with the waistband facing now, you will press up the unnotched edge of the facing at 5/8 of an inch. Trim the upturned edge at 3/8 of an inch. Pin the facings to the waistband, right sides together, and stitch the upper edge. Stitch the front edges near the zipper with the zipper foot. Trim the seam, clip your corners, flip the facing up, and understitch the seam allowance as far as you possibly can with your machine. Turn the facing to the inside. Turn in the zipper seam allowance to the inside away from the zipper teeth, making sure that the zipper teeth are outwards. Press those seams and pin the waistband facing slightly over the waistband seam. Edge stitch the entire waistband across the top, edges, and bottom, catching the facing on the inside. Then top stitch 1/4 of an inch away from the front edge of the skirt next to the zipper. For finishing the hem, you will turn it up so that it is equal all the way around with the end of the zipper. I chose to just top stitch the pressed folded edge here, but you can do more, like folding it in an extra bit to fix that little edge, the raw edge, I guess, and you would sew on both folded edges, or you could just do something decorative. It's completely up to you and how you want to finish it. I have to say this was quite the pleasurable pattern to sew. Like, I understand. I just, it's more or less like this was in my brain. Like, this is the skirt that's always been in my brain ever since I was a wee goth little child. I always wanted a leather skirt like this because all the other girls got to wear cute leather skirts, and I'm like, I just want to be this dainty thing with combat boots and in the leather skirt. Like, that's just killer. So I'm very proud of myself and how far it's come along. It was just so nice. The one thing I can't complain about is, you heard me in the videos, kind of like the zipper. I wish they had said, hey, buy like a long thing of like zippers, what zipper spool would you call it, so you can cut off like what size you need and like put your zipper on there, and it's a whole thing. But I wish they had said that instead of telling me to get like an 18-inch one, and then it kind of sort of works, but it left like this like little bit of space on the top, which I don't like. But it can be fixed if I make a closure, which I think later on I might do, and put a closure in there so I can hook that first. So when I'm trying to get the skirt on, I don't have to like hold it in my arms to try to get it to zip it up. That's just too much work. So I felt like a little bit of a closure might help to just hold it up while I'm trying to zip it up. And I felt like that, I just feel like that's just so much better. So I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying, I'm like, that would be something that I would do design wise, or like, not design wise, but like accessibility wise. Just, I need to be able to hold my skirt up while I zip it up. But yeah, I hope you learned a lot from this. I try to make things as clear as possible, but leather is a jerk. Hopefully you find this informational and entertaining, I'm guessing. I'm not quite sure. Would you call it entertaining? I like to watch so long, so it's probably entertaining. If you wouldn't mind giving me a like and subscribing, if you wouldn't mind, because I'm trying to make a cool little family here of a bunch of people who want to sell plus size clothing and have instant gratification. So, but yeah, thank you so much for watching and for being here today. I hope you have a wonderful day. What else? I do this every time. It's like I forget how to YouTube. I got rid of my Twitter, but I still have an Instagram, and I am contemplating doing a blog of some sort, but I'm not quite sure. So we'll see. There is no H in C. But yeah, we'll see. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and if you make this, please tag me on Instagram as well as Mccalls to let them know that you made this, because it's heckin' cute. And you can tag me as well at So Maniacal and follow me on Instagram because I'm on there. Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope if you have any questions, please leave them down below. Any comments or concerns, as long as they're positive and constructive, be cool. And say hey. Like, I say hey to people when they're in the comment sections. I read all the comments. It may take me like a week to respond, but I read them. It's more or less, I have social anxiety and I gotta figure out what's the right thing to say. And I'm like, I don't want to be weird because I am weird, but I respond. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.